Hey everyone, today we are back with more of the Roottrees Are Dead, and I already have what I want to start the day out with because when I was editing I took some notes. First thing I want to do is I want to go to the computer and I want to spider search the Butler County Times because that's like the main newspaper that's on the title screen, right? And I don't know if that will give me a new periodical. I was wondering. Butler County is located outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. While the Roottrees Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city, the company began on a small farm within the Butler County limits. And the area has a lot of history within the family. The Butler County Times is presumably a local paper here. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottrees family and those adjacent to them. It has been automatically added to your periodical search interface. As a side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County, and it turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County or even any connection to Butler County. Wow. Very meta. Because now I'm realizing we could have been looking up everything in the Butler County Times this whole time. So like we can start looking up people in here. We're probably going to find out a lot of information here. Carl is mentioned in the Butler County Times quite often, including an article that mentions Ernie Jr. Most of the articles containing Carl are not important. The plane crash is too recent to appear in these archives. One announced Carl's marriage to Brenda White in 1978. They were both in their early 20s. Another seems even more frivolous. Apparently, in 1981, Carl got quite drunk at a charity event and broke his arm falling down some stairs. The article mentions that Ernie is from 1996. When Carl took over as the fifth president of the Roottrees Candy Company from Ernie Jr., Ernie Jr. apparently liked to stay out of the spotlight and never appeared in the Butler County Times other than a few mentions here and there. The article does mention an illness as the reason Ernie Jr. was stepping down. Okay, so that's good. We now know. I wish I would have had this the whole time. Because now we know he's the fourth president. I feel like I should have. I can't believe I didn't have that. Ernie Jr. is the fourth president and from 1996. Let's see if we can figure out Ernie Jr. Because it's mentioning some articles that he might be in. No, okay. Not in here. Let's look up Deborah. I think her name was White? No. Deborah Roottree? Nope. Let's look up Jim Roottree, because he's like the famous guy. Jim Roottrees seems to have left Butler County by the time Jim and Diamond gained notoriety. The only article we find is from 1979, and the article is titled Former Butler County Resident and Enters Disco Charts. This article came out right as Rolling On Down to the City was hitting its peak popularity. There isn't much to this article other than what you already know, but it does mention that at the time Jim and Diamond had a 2-year-old daughter they named Candy. The writer of the article did not seem thrilled to report this fact and called the name a bit too on the nose. Right, okay, that helps us a ton though, because their first child is named Candy. Candy Roottree. And she could be old enough to be doing something, I suppose. And this guy, I also think he was in advertisement, right? Because we talked about what he did right here. Oh no, this is a website about Rafferty's Clark Rafferty LaRoe's advertising firm. Clark Rafferty. He has an advertising firm. Oh yeah, this is him. Right, he's an advertiser. Clark Rafferty LaRoe. Right, okay, you're right, because this is his birth name. He later on gets married and changes his name to Rafferty LaRoe. Right, okay. Chris Lafferty. Anyway, what were we doing? Yeah, so we were looking at random people in the Butler County Times periodical. That just... I can't believe I didn't do that. So I'm just gonna look up a bunch of people and see if any of them like make any notable stuff in here. Oh, one more thing. It also said that Bethany was Davy's younger sister. I noticed that I didn't write that down. In last week's video, it said that, yeah, Bethany was Davy's younger sister, so that's important. So I'm just going to look up a bunch of things in the Butler County Times and I will fill you in if there's anything important. Lauren Roottree. Okay, Lauren Roottree has something. The Butler County Times reviewed Lauren's diary, A Life Between Wars. They go into a bit of Lauren's history. She grew up around the famous Roottrees family. She wrote some romance books involving historical figures such as pirates and knights that were released under her married name Rafferty. Now her diary is being released under her birth name Roottree. The review gives it a 4 out of 5 and claims it captures the evolution in perspective from adolescence to adulthood and a true feeling of change in society across multiple decades. They call special attention to the author's recollection of the day she heard that her husband Jacob died in the war and how times have changed in more than 20 years. How times have changed in the more than 20 years between the first and last diary entry. The writer of the review that mentions that because the majority of the interactions in the book took place in Butler County, including many locations they personally recognized, it made everything feel more real and perhaps contribute to a higher score than it would have received otherwise. They end the review with, "Don't forget, you can find this and many other books in your local library." Oh, so some of this information you can find multiple ways. That's cool to think about. Elias Roottrees appeared in the Butler County Times quite often. Almost everything you find in the first few pages of results are the same types of things you find with a basic internet search. He invented 5 pieces, was Watchman of the Year, and had a strong focus on family. Yeah. Specifically, who could be let into the family, if you catch my drift. Miracle Roottrees and his son, who goes exclusively by Miracle Jr., have appeared in the Butler County Times a great deal over the years. The Miracle Network, which is a collection of churches, television shows, and products that can be purchased, has multiple advertisements in each issue. You did find one article mentioning legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States called the 3 Generations of Miracles Tour. The author speculates that they're going on tour to leave their legal troubles behind. Because of all the advertisements, the results in the Butler County Times are not particularly relevant to your search. Any attempts to find more about these legal troubles are thwarted. Ugh. Maybe this, though, we can look up in the spider search. No, I think this is... We've already looked at that. Dang. Gwen Roottrees. Oh. This is something we already know. It does not seem like Gwen was a resident of Butler County for long, if at all. Darn. Okay, I don't know if we're going to find any other useful information here. I pretty much looked up everybody that I could. But that's important. That's good to know that we have that article, that thing now. Okay, so now let's get into some other stuff. Let's go to the revisiting the diary, because there probably is some good information in here. Not as much information as before, because I guess I found it other places, but I like the drama. Okay, scandal. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and the re-release of Lauren's diary. It did say we can look up events in the Butler County Times, so that's cool. Elias Roottrees had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottrees. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. Okay, we're gonna look that up in a second. We're also gonna, well, that'll be terms and we'll look them up. Okay. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were a surprise, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She had been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli J. harbored a secret romance at age 16. Okay, so that's the born out of wedlock, I'm pretty sure. So then we can go over to... Oh, this is the top secret. That's why he's connected to it. Yeah, so this is Patricia Christensen. And they had a Samantha Roottrees. Married, but like dash, dash, dash. And this goes over here. Samantha Roottrees. Inconsistencies. So for inconsistency. So if the name changes, maybe, or... I don't know. EC. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby Samantha was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as EC. Right, Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that, almost. Okay, none of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr. and they finally married in their 50s. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Yeah, I remember them saying Patsy. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottrie in the first place, even though she was not a part of the clan's trust. He wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Right, because Sam... Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John. Right. And then one of the RRs, I think this is who they were trying to keep out of the family trust. Right? Yeah. Whoa. That's some good tea. Holy crap. So wait, she went by Patsy? She went by her mom's name. Is that what they said? That wait. No. Patricia was referred to as Patsy, but Samantha went by Sam. Oh my gosh. That's some tea. So we need pictures of... We can look up Samantha Roottrie probably. Maybe she'll also be in Butler County Times. So let's look him up. Or her up. Oh, are you sure you didn't mean Roottrie? I did 3 T's. Sorry, thank you. Nothing relevant. Maybe Sam. Nope. Okay, so let's look up that in the Butler County Times. No! Maybe she went by her mom's last name, Christensen? Nope. Because it did say she should have been a Roottrie all along. Oh, but that's interesting. We have that now, and then we have the illegitimate child, and she got married. So all of these people are, in their eyes, would be considered like not, because this one was born out of wedlock, so then everybody else is like, so it means they were actually married when this baby. Maybe there's multiple out of wedlock. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Dang, I should have read that piece of evidence sooner. Dang. All right, what else are we going to learn about Sam? This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It is a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottrie. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It has been a long time since any real Roottrie was excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has been the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather. Adopted Gwyneth. Okay, Gwyneth Madsen was adopted. This also has a little dash line. Oh, wait a minute. Is this because those are ones they deem like not legitimate children? Because dash because out of wedlock, dash because adoption, and then dash because I don't know. What's going on there? That'll be fun to know. That'll be really interesting to know, because they got separated, but these children aren't in the dash. Ooh, interesting. Okay, anyway, I got distracted. Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adopted grandfather, so I'm assuming that means this one's Gwyneth Madsen. What other Madsens are there? Ernest Jr., Nicole Madsen. Wait a minute. So these two had a kid. Oh, wait a minute. These two had a kid and then split up, and then she married somebody new, and then that spouse adopted them. So maybe, but that's the only adoption that I see. Oh, look, it moves around. That's the only adoption that I see on this whole thing. I'm gonna put her there from now, and we'll figure it out. But just, I'm thinking about it because of how many Madsens there are. I'm assuming what it's going to have to be is like something like Ernest Jr., Nicole Madsen, who will then get remarried or get married, so then her children have different names. Because I was going to put that in because that's what I think genealogy-wise. I'll change it if I need to, but Ernest gives his 2 kids his last name. Nicole Madsen and Ernest Jr. Madsen, who then gets married to somebody else, has a child who they named Gwyneth Madsen. But who would be her adoptive grandfather? I don't know. We may change those, but that's what I can think of right now. We'll find out. But we do know that Ernie Jr. was president after Zach, which is helpful. So Zach was the 2nd president, right? I guess we already knew that. So Ernie Jr. was the 3rd president. So then who was the other president? Guy, what's his other name? I don't know. Guy was the... Hold on. Guy was the other president. Let's put him here just for a second. Guy Hudson. Okay, Guy Hudson. Guy Hudson here. Okay, I was gonna use this to make him a term, and then we'll say 4th president, because that's the only one we have left. Guy Hudson was the 4th president. Let's just read into him real fast. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottree. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought was the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which is often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. The philosophy led to a flavor in 5 pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year, except in some foreign markets. It was very quickly announced that caviar is meant to be limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. I wonder if that means there's a 6th hidden child, because the 5 pieces flavors were typically named after the kids, but I don't know if he would know that information. Fancy flavors, nothing new. Okay, caviar? No. What about looking up Guy Hudson in here? Because maybe they talk about him taking over the presidency. Although the Butler County Times does not archive their obituaries, they did a front-page story in 1982 about Guy Hudson and his wife Patricia dying in a car accident. Okay. So the other Patricia's there. The story itself is surprisingly light on relevant details due to the recency of the accident. Police reported that the crash was caused by an unidentified driver who swerved in front of the Hudson's car, causing them to brake hard and veer off the interstate. That sounds suspicious. Although Guy was a somewhat controversial president, foul play is not suspected. There were witnesses who reported that the vehicle was investigated the wreck with speeding, swerving between lanes, and cutting other drivers off, as well as for at least 5 or 6 months before the traffic accident. One witness says it could have been any one of us who they eventually ran off the road. I was gonna look up Zach after this, that's why it's in my head. The aggressor fled after the accident, and police have very few leads other than make and model. Guy has been president of the Roottrees Company for only 4 years, though an undoubtedly volatile period in the company's history. He and his wife have no children. Okay. No children. So who can we find here that has no children? This couple has no children. How many Hudsons are there? Guy Hudson, Bonnie Hudson, and Christopher Hudson. So I think probably they're over here. One of the, Christopher Hudson was the spouse, married, took the name, and then had Bonnie, who married and then took her husband's last name, and then Guy, who married his wife, and then they had no kids. Because who else had no kids? Because they can't be born after Carl. They had kids, these people all had kids. They had kids. They had no kids, but they're after that. Oh, they're not married. They got married, but that's too long in the generation. Yeah, there's only one people that got married and didn't have any kids. So over here, it has to be these guys. And he married a Patricia, it said? Yeah, he had a wife, Patricia. Patricia Jones. Oh. The Jones. How many Jones are there again? Brian Jones and Patricia Jones. So maybe that Jones has nothing to do. Because there's a Jones over here. Stephanie got married. Stephanie Jones. And this guy had the last name Jones. But they have a baby on the way. So why wouldn't their son be named Jones? But we know this Patricia is Christensen. And we know this Patricia has to be Jones. Ooh, interesting. I don't know, but I think this has to be right. Hudson, right, Chris Hudson over here. And then Bonnie Hudson. I think all those have to be right. I just don't know where we'll find the other Jones, but I think that's all good. Okay, and these are all, I guess, temporary. We could find out that these are all sorts of wrong later, but it's feeling right, because like the adoption could be, like they could be using this as, but I don't think it's adoption. Anyway, that was good, but those are the only two without children that we had left, so that had to be in there. What about Zach Morden? Because when he became president, there's probably something. Nope. What about Zachariah Morden? No. Although, let me go to Zach. Zach Morden was Gwendolyn's firstborn son. Who the heck is Gwendolyn? Gwendolyn. Oh, shoot. So that means this one has to be Zachariah Morden. So I was wrong about all of the Madsons, but that's okay. Zachariah Morden is here. Do you have a picture of him yet? No. Let's go get these out of here. Wrong about that, but that's okay. But now we know the Mordens. What do we know about the Zachariah Morden? Gwendolyn's firstborn son, second president. Bang. We don't know who he got with, but what are the Mordens? There's Angelica, Caroline, and Gwendolyn Morden. Okay. That's progress. That's all I really care about. All right. All over the place this episode, but it's kind of fun. While I'm ashamed of what I'm ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. Okay. Sam has jet black hair and green eyes like her mom. Oop, hold on. Save note, and then we're going to reorder it and put it up into Samantha's. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. Okay. Mother Patsy had thick glasses. Right. It's hard to explain. Oh, wait. But I guess that skips generation. Her children have that covered. Oh my goodness. I need to keep reading. Mother Patsy had thick glasses. So did her children. Cool. Oops. Stop opening the calculator. Oh my gosh. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would pass to Samantha Roottrees for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. Roommate? I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I were her, I might not forgive them either, but even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problem with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the five pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Well, of course. I understand. Revisiting the diary, Clark. This is a page of additional notes and context from Reading this back, I get deja vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten married again. No Rootree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob and Gwen divorced Wild Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in The Starlet, but neither of us ever took a second husband. Should I look up him in The Starlet? I feel like I have. Okay, Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan of stories and gossip about who had been seen with in public, blondes mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his roles was under his real name, Walter Forsythe. The second is in an interview, although he doesn't mention her by name. You determine— oh, never mind. We already read this one, but neither of us ever took a second husband. With the way that the world is moving, I guess it would be inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped, more than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Yes, her brothers. And Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last, and Lord knows I was right last time. Right. We're talking about these people, Jane and Kim and everybody, and they had a kid. We don't have a picture of them yet. If we can find a picture of their band, then we could figure it out. Okay. Let's keep going. This is a page from the 1975 10-year anniversary release of Lauren's diary. It is not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. Oh wait, hold on. I forgot to take this as a note. That, you want to know, Eli C. raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's managed Clancy or Edward. So I think Eli C. is the other. She has 3 brothers that are Clark, Edward, or Elias C., Edward, and Clancy Jr., who's probably the firstborn. But I'm just putting them there for now because that's her 3 brothers. We'll switch them around, right? But they're like Elias Clancy maybe, and then maybe Eli Morden is over here. Eli M. No, I don't know. I'm gonna stop guessing, but I'm gonna put them there for now. All right. So the biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. Thank you. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake, but that's how it is. Sometimes someone would say I saw Eli in town and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, okay, my uncle, my cousin. That's why they become Uncle Jr. or Miracles Eli or Eli C. Uncle Jr., Miracles Eli or Eli C. Miracles Eli. Oh, Eli. Miracle. Rootree. I guess. Eli M. Interesting. There's more bonus photos to find. Oh, I really want to find all those bonus photos, but that's a big task, it looks like. But I'm excited. Anyway, okay. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and Grandma Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name came from. Edward Clancy, right. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son that goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. Well, that would have been really helpful. With the women, however, it goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her first name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline. Who is Elias's mother? Who is Elias's mother? Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of junior. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Rootree. I had to break the news that they got my father's name backwards. Gwendolyn, Gwyneth, and Caroline. There's a Caroline. I don't know. I really want to lock in 3 people for the end of this video, but I've been recording for a long time. I gotta find somebody. I think the 2 clues for this, though, are the Miracles Eli and the Eli C. So let's go to this one. Anger. This is a page from the re-release. It is not a companion piece to any specific entry, but rather a fun bonus. Okay, apparently this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes based on the teacher's name, she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and did not have a pretty dress. You spelled wrong. Me and Pop walked home in town and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed out loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry, I am glad she's gone." So do you care to explain? There's a secret child. Is that what that... There's a secret child? But I don't know what to do with that information. I don't know what to do with that information. Guys, just looked up Zachariah Morton in Business Watch, like the one for like rich and famous like moguls. Not mogul, but like the, you know, the businessmen. And it says there's a small blurb about Zach Morton, son of James and Gwendolyn Morton and grandson of Elias Roottrees inheriting the candy company. He is quoted saying, "Elias entrusted me with carrying on his legacy, and that's what I plan to do. Along with 5 pieces, our chocolate maple products are selling incredibly well. We will not be making any changes." So that doesn't help me, but maybe Guy Hudson will. Okay, Guy Hudson, along with his twin sister, are no strangers to the public when it comes to Roottrees snacks. They are both appeared in the company's advertisements as children during the Boys and Girls era. Boys and Girls agree. We're gonna look that up. We're gonna put that in our terms. Okay. Who would have known that one of those 2 adorable redheads, Guy credits his mother and father, Angie and Christopher. Oh my gosh, this is a gold mine. Guy Hudson, who I'm pretty sure is over here. It said he's a redhead, 1, but 2, it said Guy Hudson his mother was Angie and Christopher, which I have right here. Hudson, I have that. And then Angelica, I think, is Angelica Morton, which fits, yeah, James Morton fits right there. And they're redheads. Oh, there's redheads. Because that's the 2nd generation. There's redheads right there. Oh my goodness, because this is, hold on, everyone. There's a break in the case. There's a break in the case. This is the Free Spirits. Bonnie, next president Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline. November. There's childish print writing. This is November. So this is November. I see you. November is the child. Okay, hold on. Calm down. But Angelica is not in here. Angelica is in the other photo. It says she wasn't pictured here. Oh, no, sorry. Angelica. The next generation, right, is everyone here. So I mean, that's Angelica. The redhead. Yeah, because that's the next generation, which is after the 5 pieces. And she's right there. Hey, Angelica. And, oh, is she a housewife? Probably. Because the first person to be a housewife, or not a housewife, was the other girl. I thought it just confirmed was this girl. And they're in the same generation, so maybe we'll find out that she was not just a housewife. But for now, I'm going to put them there. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Who would have known that one of the those two adorable redheads? Oh my gosh, they have twins. Guy credits his mother and father, Andrew and Christopher, with providing his fiery duo, arguing over everything but chocolate would grow up to take. Who would have known that one of those 2 adorable redheads arguing over everything but chocolate would grow up to take over the whole company? Guy's uncle and current president Zachariah has decided to take an early retirement to focus on traveling the world with his wife. Zach was quoted as saying, "Now that our daughters have started families of their own, Clara and I plan to reflect on a life well lived." Oh my gosh. Guy is new to the business world, but he's family. We at Roottrees have faith in his innovative ideas, and he's eager to share them with the world. We like to think that boys and girls agree that he's ready to succeed. Catchy. So Zach's wife is Clara. We are, We are killing it right now. Do you think Zach Morton's one of these? I mean, have to be. He'd be one of these people. One of these guys. Or maybe this guy. Probably not this guy. That guy's too little. That's Clancy Edward. That guy has a little kid. He's redhead. Wait, that's a redhead. Twin brother. Are they the twins? Is this... Oh! Yes, because they're both redheads! Whoa! Holy crap. I've been recording for almost an hour. But that's... Oh, I really like to end... Patricia Christensen. Clara... Oh, yes. Yes, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Yes, I locked a bunch of optional entries. So that helps me know I was right about Patricia Jones and Guy Hudson. I was also right about... I think that was already there. But I locked some other optional entries where? I don't know. Somewhere. I guess here. And here. And here. Nice! I like to end each video with at least getting 3 people, because now I feel like we're going to go fast. We know a lot of information. Zachariah Morden. Oh my gosh. And then he had some Mordens, Caroline and Gwendolyn. Oh, interesting. Because his mom was Gwendolyn. And he gave... So these are both daughters. Interesting. There's 3 kids here. I wonder how I'm going to figure out these 2. I don't know, but why is there like a dot? That's like really strange. I want to figure this out so bad, but I'm getting there. 21 out of 50 is not bad. Like, I'm starting to clear names off. Like, there's really not a lot left. Like, some of these are gonna figure out, what the heck is April Quadrick? Interesting. I'm so excited. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna cut this video. Maybe I should finish. Actually, I'm not gonna cut it yet. I'm going to look this up right before we leave, just to see what here is. Oh, there's photos. Okay, you find a site about successful ad campaigns. One of the ads listed is from the late 50s, Boys and Girls Agree. It is a series of television and magazine ads for Roottrees chocolate bars. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed, except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree that Roottrees is their favorite. The first advertisement in the series was the most memorable due to the bright red hair of the boy and girl involved. One of the magazine advertisements has been added to your evidence. This is a bonus. Boys and girls never agree on anything except Roottree. Boys and girls agree it gotta be Roottree. There's an ad for the Roottrees candy from the late 50s. It's part of the campaign called Boys and Girls Agree, which is included in television and print advertisements. The ad campaign is described as having the premise that boys and girls are often diametrically opposed, except when it comes to one thing. Both of them agree Roottree is their favorite. That, right, because they said the twins used to act, or used to model. Wait a second. There's not bonus photos here. Who are you guys? Who are y'all? Maybe one of them had twins. Hold on. Yeah, Guy Hudson and his sister. Oh, Guy Hudson and his sister. Wait, Guy Hudson and his sister. Okay, so that's Guy Hudson and his twin sister, Bonnie, are right there. Oh my goodness gracious. This is going to be their main photo then if I lock them in as this. It's not going to be their bonus photo. It's going to be these kids. But they were like models or something. Military. Oh my. Oh no, wait. Guy Hudson was the 3rd president, right? The 4th president. 4th president. That's nice. That's a good jumpstart on tomorrow, or on next episode. But Guy was president after Zach. Yeah, Guy was president after Zach. I don't know how I got those confused. So, Guy was the 3rd president. And then Ernie Jr. Oh, come on. It was probably somewhere in there. It was 4th. Yeah. We're gonna change that real fast. But anyway, I don't want to keep going. I don't want to stop. Maybe I'll keep recording because this is getting good. I'm figuring out so much stuff. Anyway, if you want to see the next video, please come back. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Stop! I don't know why it keeps doing that. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!